Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we've got something intense and action-packed lined up for you. So go ahead, tap that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss a drop of the madness. Alright, let's dive in. Predator vs. Wolverine, Volume 2. Years ago. Deep in the unforgiving jungles of South America, the air was thick with humidity, and the cries of distant animals echoed through the canopy. Team X, the covert mutant strike unit, moved through the dense foliage like shadows. Wolverine, his senses razor-sharp, led the way, trailed by Sabretooth, Jackson, and Maverick. Their mission was simple: eliminate a brutal military dictator hidden in a heavily fortified jungle stronghold. But the jungle held other predators. They weren't alone. Suddenly, the team froze. The forest seemed to breathe. Something was watching them. Click, click, click. Above them, 4 monstrous figures shimmered into visibility. They stood tall, armored in alien tech, mandibles twitching. Yautja, the interstellar hunters known only by one name: Predators. They perched silently on massive tree branches, like death incarnate. Jackson whispered, "What the hell are those things?" Wolverine's eyes narrowed. His hand went to his belt. He'd seen them before. "Ain't our first dance," he growled, revealing a Yautja smart disc, scorched and blood-stained from a battle centuries ago. Without hesitation, he flung it toward the predators. It screamed through the air, cutting through one of the hunter's armor and slicing off part of its shoulder. The predator let out a thunderous shriek of pain. "Run!" Wolverine barked. "We can't take them!" But Sabretooth just bared his teeth and raised his gun. "I ain't running from lizards!" Team X opened fire. The predators vanished instantly, cloaking systems flaring like shimmering heat mirages, and melted back into the trees. A tense silence followed. Team X moved in a tight circle, guns drawn, backs to each other, nerves on edge. The jungle whispered, the trees rustled. Then chaos erupted. One of the cloaked predators appeared behind Sabretooth and drove a spear clean through his back. Roaring in pain and fury, Sabretooth grabbed the predator and, with blood dripping from his mouth, slammed his claws into its gut, tearing flesh and metal alike. Both crashed to the jungle floor, motionless. Gunfire rang out as the rest of the team began to fall back, running through a corridor of butchered soldiers, their bodies skinned and hung like meat from the trees. The smell of death was unbearable. Suddenly, snap! A cable yanked Jackson by the neck into the air. She screamed, a horrific gurgle, before her head was torn clean off and her body crashed to the ground. Wolverine and Maverick opened fire blindly into the canopy, but the hunters were ghosts. Wolverine rushed to Jackson's corpse, and then noticed the blinking light. The explosion ripped through the trees. Maverick and Wolverine were thrown like rag dolls, crashing into the underbrush. Dazed, ears ringing, Wolverine groaned and tried to pull himself up. Then, another predator emerged from the smoke, standing over them with twin wrist blades gleaming. It lunged, but Maverick emptied his clip into the beast's chest. It screeched, stumbled, and dropped, dead. Wolverine pulled Maverick to his feet. He was bleeding heavily, barely conscious. He hoisted his friend onto his shoulder and staggered toward the only safe place nearby, the ancient stone temple deep in the jungle, now repurposed as a military bunker. But behind them, the surviving predators loomed over their fallen brother. With grim purpose, they executed him. A clean, silent death. Wolverine kicked in the rusted door to the temple, dragging Maverick inside. The walls were stacked with crates of weapons. The tyrant general's war stockpile. Then, the sound of boots. Dozens of soldiers appeared, guns raised. In front stood General Ortega, the dictator himself, cruel eyes gleaming. "I know why you're here, mutant," he said coldly. Wolverine straightened, claws extended. "Then you know how this ends." But Ortega raised a hand. "No," he said, "not today, because we have a bigger enemy." The soldiers lowered their weapons. Wolverine eyed him warily. "You mean the hunters?" Ortega nodded. "They've been butchering my men for days. If you want to live, we fight together." Wolverine growled, then slowly retracted his claws. "Fine, but we do this my way." An hour later, the temple was rigged with explosives and sensor-triggered mines. Hidden bunkers, decoys, and infrared beams covered every corner. The jungle went silent again. Then, with ghost-like precision, the predators breached the perimeter. Cloaked and deadly, they entered the temple's stone corridors, scanning, stalking. In the heart of the temple, the predators detected movement. Heat signatures. They moved toward the source, only to realize too late that it was a trap. The first explosion triggered a chain reaction of detonations that shook the earth. Walls crumbled, fire engulfed the ancient jungle ruins, and stone rained down from above. Predator tech sparked and sizzled in the searing heat. From a safe distance, Wolverine, Maverick, Sabretooth, alive but badly injured, watched from Professor Thornton's helicopter as the jungle turned into a hellish inferno. Wolverine lit a cigar. Hope they're dead this time. But he knew better. Years later, in Alberta, Canada, the snow fell gently over the Weapon X facility, nestled in the icy wilderness. Inside, Wolverine lay unconscious, suspended in a tank of murky green fluid, another experiment underway. But the silence was shattered. A predator ship descended through the clouds, cloaking as it landed. The surviving hunter stepped out. The one who had marked Wolverine years ago. He tore through the guards. He detonated the facility's main gates. He slaughtered the scientists. And at the end of the corridor, he found Wolverine. Defenseless, unconscious, laying on the examination bed, bathed in the cold, sterile light of the lab. The predator extended his wrist blades and paused. He had waited a long time for this. To be continued. Thanks for watching, Legends. We hope you enjoyed the journey. If you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you never miss what's coming next. Things are only getting more intense from here. Trust us, you won't want to miss a second of it. Until next time, stay sharp and stay in the fight.